Hi, I'm Dr. Brandy Maynard from GiftedResources.com. I help teachers and parents understand the unique needs of gifted learners, and I give you 21st century strategies to help your brightest students move toward their infinite potential. When I started my career in 1997 working with gifted students, I walked into the classroom not knowing what in the world I was doing. You could not even imagine how many minutes I had of gifted instruction before I stepped foot into the classroom. In an undergraduate program, most incoming teachers get 45 minutes, one chapter in one book in one class. No wonder we don't know what we're doing. I decided to go back and get a master's degree in teaching gifted and talented learners. I took classes in what's known as accelerated learning in part of my master's degree, and I was introduced to a strategy in that class. That strategy was called VAC, Visual, Auditory, and Kinesthetic Instruction. The specific strategy that I was taught was called visual spelling, and that's the strategy that I'm going to share with you today because I believe this strategy changed the way that I taught gifted students to learn how to spell, and I think it'll change the way that you teach them to learn how to spell as well. All right, let's take a look at the strategy. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper, and you're going to fold that piece of paper in half, hot dog style for those of you who are elementary teachers, and then you're going to fold it into quarters. So you'll have 4 individual squares that we will be able to write the spellings of the words. Go ahead and press pause and do that now. Next, you want to find 2 contrasting colors of markers, red and green, blue and orange, purple and black, whichever contrasting colors that you'd like to use. Grab those crayons or markers now. In your first square, choosing one of your contrasting colors, go ahead and write the letters A-L. Say them out loud as you write them. A-L. In the second square, go ahead with a different color and write the letters B-U. Say them out loud as you write them. B-U. Go back to the color that you started with. In the third square, go ahead and write the letters Q-U-E-R. Say them out loud as you write them. Q-U-E-R. And in that final square, go ahead and write Q-U-E. Remember to use that alternating color and say it out loud as you write it. Q-U-E. If you open up your squares, you'll notice that you have written the word Albuquerque. Say it out loud with me. Albuquerque. Now, in order to be successful with visual spelling, you need to have a visual, auditory, and kinesthetic experience with the word. I'm going to ask you to do a series of callbacks. I need you to call back what it is that I say for you to do, and you'll be successful with this method. All right, let's go ahead. Go ahead and fold your paper so all you see is A-L. Let's focus on these 2 letters, A-L. Go ahead and say them out loud with me. A-L. Your paper should just be about nose level. You should be looking at your paper, holding on to it, just so it's at a comfortable reading distance. Go ahead and say the letters out loud. A-L. Say them one more time. A-L. Go ahead and tip the paper up. It should be about eyebrow level, so you can see it at a comfortable reading distance. Do not tip your head, just your eyes, and say those letters with me. A-L. And one more time. A-L. Close your eyes, and on the whiteboard in your mind, go ahead and use your finger and write the letters as you say them out loud. A-L. With your eyes closed, go ahead and focus on those 2 letters in your mind's eye for 7 seconds. Great. Go ahead and fold your paper so you see the letters B-U. You want to see the letters B-U. Go ahead and hold the paper in front of your nose and say those letters out loud with me. B-U. And say them again. B-U. And one more time. B-U. U. Go ahead and hold that paper up so your head is facing forward but your eyes are tipped up, and say the letters with me. B-U. One more time. B-U. Go ahead and close your eyes and write those letters on the whiteboard in your mind using your hand, full body motion. Write the letters B-U as you say them out loud. Here we go. B-U. Go ahead and focus on those letters for 7 seconds. Fantastic. Let's turn to the third quadrant. These letters are Q, U, E, R. Say them out loud. Q, U, E, R. Go ahead and hold the paper in front of you and say those letters out loud. Q, U, E, R. Focusing on each letter, say them one more time. Q, U, E, R. Tip your paper up, tip your eyes up, and say those letters with me. Q, U, E, R. Go ahead and close your eyes. And with big strokes, go ahead and write the letters on the whiteboard in your mind. Say them out loud. Q, U, E, R. Go ahead and focus on those letters for 7 seconds. And the last quadrant is Q, U, E. Go ahead and turn your paper to Q, U, E. Go ahead and focus on those letters. Q, U, E. Say them out loud with me one more time. Q, U, E. Go ahead and hold those letters up to your eyebrow level and say them out loud. Q, U, E. Close your eyes and focus on those letters as you write them on the whiteboard in your mind with huge brush strokes. Here we go. Q, U, E. Focus on those letters for 7 seconds. Well done. Thank you for staying focused through that activity. Now let's go ahead and focus on the word Albuquerque. Close your mind with me for just a moment and say the letters in the first quadrant. A, L. The second quadrant, B, U. The third quadrant, Q, U, E, R. And the fourth quadrant, Q, U, E. The first quadrant, A, L. The third quadrant, Q, U, E, R. The second quadrant, B, U. The fourth quadrant, Q, U, E. With your eyes closed, I'm going to ask you to say the quadrants out loud as I ask them to you. Here we go. The first quadrant, the third quadrant, the fourth quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, the first quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. Go ahead and open your eyes, and I'd like you to spell the word Albuquerque. Give yourself a huge pat on the back. Spell it with me. A-L-B-U-Q-U-E-R-Q-U-E. Nicely done. Now, go ahead and spell the word Albuquerque backwards. Close your eyes and say it out loud. Give yourself a huge round of applause. You were able to spell the word Albuquerque forward and backward. Nicely done. I hope you enjoyed the visual spelling technique. Let me give you a few tips, a few questions that I always get about visual spelling that I think will clear some things up for you. When you're teaching this to gifted students, always use contrasting colors. Like I said, red and green, purple and black, orange and blue, whichever contrasting colors that you'd like to use. Some people like to use marker. There's something about the brain, and when you use marker, it works well, but there's something about the brain that's special with crayon and chalk. If you have crayon and chalk, it's an excellent tool to use because there's something about the drag of the crayon and the drag and the chalk that it just sticks a little bit better into your brain. But be sure whatever you use, you're using contrasting colors. When you break the words down, you can fold the paper into different chunks. Make sure that the chunks are natural. So if you're spelling the word natural, it would be N-A-T-U-R-A-L. So it doesn't have to be broken up by syllable. It can if it makes sense. If you see small words within the word like technology, tech, no, log, E, you can do it like that. Whatever you'd like to do. I always use the word photosynthesis. Photo, syn, the, cis. Make sure that you break those words into natural chunks. Again, with the chunks, the words may have 2, 3, 4, or 5 squares. So if you have a shorter word, like bread, you may only have 2 squares. If you have a longer word, you may have 4 or 5 squares. Go ahead and choose the number of squares that work best for your spelling words. I asked you to tip your eyes up, not tip your entire head up. And the reason that I did that is because when you tip your eyes up, you're accessing a part of your brain. And if you just go, it's basically the part, if you put your finger on your nose and you put your hand right behind your head, that's the spot in the brain that you're accessing with this technique. So when students tip their eyes up, they're accessing that deeper part in their brain. So you want to make sure their eyes tip up and not their head. You want to ask students, like I did, to spell the word forward and backward. That way you know that they know how to spell it visually. You notice that I broke it down by the first quadrant, the third quadrant, the second quadrant, the fourth quadrant. You can continue to do that until you feel like they get it. Make sure that you celebrate them being able to spell the word forward and celebrate them even more for being able to spell the word backward. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to reach in front of you and go ahead and pretend like you're opening a locker. So we always go to the right to start. So go ahead and go to the right and turn your locker to 10 and stop. Back to 24 and forward to 7. Let's do it again. Say it out loud with me. 10, 24, 7. 10, 24, 7 is the magic code. Let me share the code with you. 10 stands for 10 minutes. So if you practice this word 10 minutes after you do it, it's going to go into your short-term memory. So go ahead and practice about 10 minutes after you do it. That's why we do review at the end of a lesson. Go ahead forward 24 hours. 24 hours later, you want to practice this word again. That's why when we teach a lesson the next day, we open up with review from the day before. 10 minutes, 24 hours, and back to 7. The final is 7 days. So 7 days later or a week later, we want to test our students and make sure that that information transferred from short-term memory to long-term memory. I hope you found today's visual spelling lesson helpful. I hope that you use it with your gifted students and that they have an excellent experience. We are offering tips, tricks, and strategies delivered directly to your inbox for free. Please sign up at www.giftedresources. Every Thursday, we will send out a newsletter with these tips, tricks, and strategies for gifted learners. We'll be dealing with issues that deal directly with gifted students and also technology tips for teachers and parents to use with their 21st century gifted learner. If you're looking for a more social experience, please also sign up for our Facebook page. This is the place that you can find other parents and other teachers who are like you, schooling gifted students. Perhaps they're highly capable specialists just working with gifted students. Perhaps you're a teacher who has gifted students in your classroom. We all do. They do come through the system. 2 to 10% of our students are gifted. Perhaps you're a parent who's schooling your child at home and would like these strategies. Perhaps you're schooling with a virtual school or on your own, or perhaps you're a parent who would like to use some of these strategies just to get to know how to nurture your gifted student a little bit better. So please sign up for our Facebook page at facebook.com/21giftedresources. Well, again, I'm Dr. Brandy Maynard from giftedresources.com. Thank you so much for spending 15 minutes with me today, and I really look forward to chatting with you again. Hopefully, I'll see you online. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.